Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome to the lecture 7 of this Java Master course. Today we shall discuss the arrays and its relevant topics which are mentioned here. So let's start. So what are basically the arrays? So the arrays are the group of the consecutive memory location. Now what it means by the consecutive memory location? To understand the array, I give you an example. Consider array as a basket or a group of a similar type of fruit. For example, consider this as a basket of apples. Okay, so there are a lot of apples here, 1 2 3 or many more, and as many as you can. Okay, so this is an example or analogy like array. So you can consider or assume that like it's an array of fruits. So what is this? It is an consecutive memory location. I mean, consecutive means they are in an order. I mean, like the 1 2 3, all the countings are in the consecutive order, 1 2 3 4 5. These are in consecutive order. So likewise the arrays are also, the elements of arrays are in the consecutive order. Like consider this as a box whole, and it's three portion here, you can see. So it's the first, it's the second, and it's the third. So these are the consecutive memory locations, and these are same types, same name and same types. Okay, for example, in the analogy or example which we have discussed, if the array or a basket is of oranges or apples, it can contain only apples or oranges respectively. Okay, it cannot contain bananas or any other kind of fruits. So likewise array can only contain one type of data type. Okay, it may be either integer, float, string, or any type of data. So it can contain only similar type of data type. And the second one is the arrays are reference data types. These are not primitive data types. They refer to an element, and they specify array name followed by the position number or subscript. Each subscript is enclosed in a square brackets. So this is an sign of the array. Okay, so here is this general syntax: array name, and then its index or subscript, likewise its number. I mean, in this bracket we write the element of the array. Okay, so if the array contain 10 element, so we will name first element, second element, and these kind of things. Okay, so if you don't understand this, don't worry, we shall discuss all these in later and in no time. So in Java, array subscript starts with 0. Okay, so the counting of the array start from the 0. I mean, it's whether the 0th element, the first element, the second element, and likewise it does not start from 1, it start from 0. And subscript must be a non-negative number. It's obvious that the elements are the non-negative. You cannot state something as it's the -1 part of something. Okay, so you either have to start naming or subscripting the array from 0. I mean 0 1 2 and up to so on. So consider this as an example of array. Okay, so here in this, here up above, I have declared an array of integer. Okay, so this is the data type of array, and this is the name of the array, C. You can call it any name, and this is the subscript. It shows that the array is of the size 12. Okay, 12 size. So here is first number, it's kind of first element, it's contain 45, and then second element 6, third element 0, fourth element 72, and up to so on. Okay, so here you can see that, and here it's first element, second element, third element, fourth element, fifth element, sixth element. Okay, 7 8 9 10 11 and 12. So as you can see that these are the elements of array. It's first element, but its subscript is 0. As you can see that the element is also 1, but its subscript is 0. The element is 2, the subscript is 1. Okay, so C1 refer to the second element of this array. C1 refers to the second element of this array, like this 6. Okay, this 6 you can see. So you can understand this, these blue boxes contain the same value which I have declared here. Okay, the same value, -45 6 0. But these white boxes, these are 12 0 0, 12 0 2, 12 0 4, 12 0 6, 12 0 8. Okay, so what do these represent? So these represent actually the consecutive memory locations. Okay, these are the memory. For example, if 12 0 0 is the memory location, and then the next will contain 12 0 2, it is the second memory location. See that it's consecutive. Okay, so these are placed side by side. Okay, so integer may contain the, you may say that 2 bytes, so it's jump from 12 0 0 to 12 0 2. Okay, so these are the random memory location. These are just for your understanding that how these actually work. So the name of array, note that all element of this array have the same name, C. Okay, the name of this array is C, and each element can be called using the C0, C1, C2, as I have discussed. Okay, index or subscript of the element with array C. So this is the subscript or index. Okay, it shows the element. Memory addresses, this column shows the memory addresses. Okay, so this is basically a diagram to show and to visualize the concept of array. So here we will discuss that how can we declare arrays. So while we are declaring arrays, we have to specify three things: the name of the array, the data type of the array, and the number of elements. Okay, so this is the general syntax of declaring an array. I mean, this is the most common. There are also other we will discuss, but this is the most common and popular way of and syntax. First we have to write data type, and then we have to write array name, and then we have to specify the number of elements. Okay, so here is the example: int c and 10. Okay, so what does it specify? It does specify that the name of the array is c, and it contains 10 element, and its type is integer. Okay, so this element c can only contain the type of c, integers. So this is the float data type, I mean decimal numbers, and name is my array, and it contains 3284, you may say, number. Okay, so these were the some popular types of declaring an array. Okay, so there is another also popular type of declaring arrays. So this is this type, as you can see that this type. Okay, it goes beyond the conventional declaration like this. In this, first we have specified the string, the data type, and then we have written the curly brackets, and then we have written the name of the array. Okay, and it is the string type, and I have given it two string, the Ubed and Ali. These are the two strings. So you have to notice that in this we don't have declared the elements, that how much element it does contain. Okay, so this is also a type, we shall explore it further. So declaring multiple arrays of the same type. Okay, so you can also declare multiple arrays in the same line. For example, you have to write in the same line int, and then you can declare one or two or three arrays. Okay, so this is the declaration, and we have not initialized. Okay, so these does not contain any values. All the values c1, b1, b2, b3, b100, all are 0. Likewise in the same, until we have declared until we have initialized the array, all the elements contain the 0 value. Okay, so let's discuss this further. So here is the popular way of the array declaration. So what does array declaration mean? That the statement in number 5 declares an array of 5 component of the type int. This component are number 0, number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4. So number 0 is equal to, so here is the it's the type of declaration in which we have declared, and this is in here we are initializing. Okay, so you can either do it in the same line, or you can split this. So I mean, first you can just declare an array, and then you can initialize it separately. Okay, each element separately. Okay, so this is an also other popular type of array declaration. So this is the array initialization. So array can be initialized when they are declared, I mean in the same line, and in the program after declaration, like we have done in the previous example. And initialization with declaration, so there are 4 types. I mean, there are 4 ways. First, we can define an array size and complete initializer list, I mean all in the same line. First, or we can define the array size and partial initializer list, I mean the array size is 10 and we have given only 5 values. No array size and complete initializer list, and no array size and partial initializer list. So these are the 4 things. Okay, so these are the practical example of this. So first is the case 1, and in which we have declared an array of integer, and it contains the 5 element 1 2 3 4 5. And second is the 5, it contains 5 element, but we only have given it the 3 elements. Okay, so in case 1, first 3 element will be initialized to the value provided. I mean there are 5 spaces and 5 value given, so this is a legal way. But in the second, the spaces are 5, but we only have given the 3 values. So what will be at the position 4 and 5? Okay, so until we have initialized value, the array will contain the 0 value. Okay, so this is n0 is equal to 1, n1 is equal to 2, n2 is equal to 3. So n4 and n5 contain the last 2 value contains 0 and 0. Okay, the 4th and 5th value will be 0 0 until we have declared. Okay, so as this is written, and there is an error that if we have given or declared the size of array as 5, but we are initializing it with 6 elements. Okay, so this will provide an error, that is it has the too much initializer, so this won't work in our program. So array, this is the second example to understand this. If the size of array is not provided, I mean I have told you that in certain type of declaration we don't provide the explicitly the size of array. So what will be in the response of the program in this case? Okay, so here we don't have given the size of the array, and we have passed the initializer list. This is the list of initializer, I mean 5 initializer values. Okay, and this has 3. Okay, so when we don't have explicitly provided the size of the array, the size of the array will be equal to the number of initializer. I mean here there are 1 2 3 4 5 initializer. The size of array in case 1, this is the case 1. Okay, in case 1 the size of array will be 5, and in the case 2 the size of array will be 3. Okay, so this was important. An example of this is the example of the partial initializer list. Okay, so this we have declared an array of list name list type is integer and size is 10, but we have only given 0, I mean only one initializer, so the rest of 9 will be 0. Okay, so this will be this will be all the rest 9 will be 0, and we can also write this kind of things. Okay, so we may partially initialize with 1 2 3 4 5 6 or up to a value, any value, so the rest can be initialized or later. I mean here in this case we have initialized it with 0, and then in the later program we can initialize the remaining element of the array. Okay, so this was another concept. So partial initializer continued. This is the continuation of the previous example. So int list is equal to 563 declares the list of 3 components. Okay, so this declares an array of 3 components, and the list was 0 to 5, list 1 to 6, list 2 to 3. Okay, so this statement list 25, here the size is 25, but we have only given the two initializer 4 and 7, so it declares the list of an array 25 component. The first two component will be initialized to 4 and 7, and all other components will be 0, like we have discussed here. Okay, so accessing the array component. Okay, so how we can access the components of the array? So the general form or syntax of accessing an array component is write the name of the array and its exponent. For example, if the name of array was you may call it for example b. Okay, and we want to access its second element, so second element is at subscript 1. So by writing this we can access the first second element of the array b. So where index is called the subscript or index, I mean this one is called the subscript or index, which is written inside this big brackets. Okay, so index value specifies the position of the component. The operator is called the array subscripting operator. I mean these brackets, these their programming name is actually the array subscripting operator. The array index always starts with 0. It's quite an obvious thing that the index of array always starts with 0. So dimensions of array, this is a certain advanced topic we shall discuss only theoretically, and then in the later videos I will try to make another video on dimensions of array. And when we have written only the single bracket, okay, so single pair of brackets, it means that it is only one dimensional array. Okay, so if we have written the two brackets, two pair of brackets, which means that we have given a the two-dimensional arrays. So this is more in general like the matrix form. So in the one-dimensional arrays things go in this way, like 1 2 and in the same way. Okay, so these are the horizontal list of the element, and it has only one row and unlimited columns up to your limit and up to your choice. Okay, so in two-dimensional arrays we have two rows, I mean 1 2 3 and 4, like other in the way. Okay, so and don't forget to write commas between these. So in this two-dimensional arrays we have the two rows and unlimited columns. Okay, the columns are always unlimited. You can write as many columns as want. A two-dimensional array is like a table consisting of rows and columns, just like a matrix. If you are familiar with arrays element or index using rows and column in the matrix. Okay, so this was about arrays. Now we shall discuss the arrays in much detail in our
here editor. I am back in the coding section. So here we will do some sort of code to demonstrate the learning the arrays. So I have made this class lecture. So first of all, write the main method in this. Okay, so here I have declared the main method. Now we have learned several ways of declaring an arrays. So I am writing that one in which initially we don't provide the number of elements. Okay, so the name of array is C. So let's name it something different, that practice. Let's name this array practice. Okay, so since it's integer 1 3 5 6 and 7, let's pass it 5 values. Okay, so now we want to print the average of this array. Okay, so here we want to print the average. Okay, so here what we're gonna do is that here we will declare a variable int answer. Okay, so and now we will use a loop. Okay, so you will now learn how we can use arrays. For int I is equal to 0, I less than practice dot length I plus plus. Okay, so what I have done is that the loop will start from the 0th iteration, and this dot length is a method. Okay, this is used to find the length of the array, that how many elements are present in this array. Okay, so practice dot arrays returns 5, since there are 1 2 3 4 5 values here. So this will return the 5 value, and the loop will continue from the 5 times. Okay, So but actually yes, we do want to add the the all the elements. Okay, so what we are going to do is that answer is equal to answer plus practice I. Okay, so this will add all the elements of this array and will return its sum. Okay, and so instead of writing multiple statement 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5, so I have used the loop. Okay, so now I want to, so let's initialize it to 0. Okay, so now I want to print average. Now I want to print the average. So avg, int avg, int avg is equal to answer and divided by practice dot length. Okay, so this will return an average. Now I will print our average. So here we have completed our program. So let's try to run it, what it does. It's 4, average is 4, so it has successfully printed the average. So rather than using this loop, you can also use the manual way. For example, int avg, or first of all write answer is equal to practice dot 1. so let's copy this multiple times, 1 2 and 3. Oh, why we are copying this? I just want to copy this 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, so we have printed this 5 times, 2 3 4 5. Okay, so this is a second way, I mean, to manually do it instead of using the loops. So practice 1 return us the first element, practice 2 return us the second element. Actually the thing is that since it starts from, as we have learned, that the index of the array start from 1, so I have purposely written falsely written these statements from 1 to 4 so that you may remember it. Okay, so here it is another way of, rather than just using the loops. So you have learned how to use arrays. So let's remove this. Now let's make an array of string arrays. So what we are going to do is, let's string, the name of the array should be names is equal to names Obed. So viewers and your name, and this is the name of any viewer who is watching this video. Okay, so everyone should consider his or her name here, and let's name Ali, and let's add a female name. Okay, so here I have written the 4 names, and now I want to print these names, names, names dot 1. What will it print? The first name. Okay, and now let's print the last name. So to print the first name, I have again written this falsely, names. Now what I have to write in this operator, in this bracket, to print this Sarah name? So definitely I have to write 3 here. Okay, to print the Sarah. So let's try to run it again. What does it do? So here Obed and Sarah. So these were few things. There are certain difficult question about arrays, like shifting the elements of arrays, but these are actually beyond the scope of this video. Okay, so I will try to make another video for those concepts as well. So but you should practice it by your own. You have learned the basic concept of declaring and initializing the arrays, and now you have learned how to use the index to print the names. Now these other are the just mathematical operations, their right shift, the left shift, and other. So I will try to make another video on this. So for then, thank you, and keep watching and keep exploring.